Goeienaand, ek is Lenet Francis. Die jaar snel nou vinnig ten einde. Welkom by die laaste uitsending van Fokus vir 2019, wanneer ons weer saamkuier aanstaande Sondag en dit in 'n splinter nuwe jaar. Bietjie later stel ons jou voor liewer aan 'n danser van Kaapstad wat dans gebruik as 'n leerproses vir kinders en jongmense. Maar is daar die tyd van die jaar wanneer baie Suid-Afrikaners 'n welverdiende ruskans geniet. Maar noodsituasies gebeur steeds en wanneer dit gebeur, is elke minuut, elke sekonde kritiek as 'n lewe gered moet word. Mediese personeel is dit eens dat die toepassing van kardiopulmonêre resusitasie, oftewel KPR, 'n noodsituasie in 'n oogwink kan verander as dit reg toegepas word. Veral wanneer dit tydens 'n hartaanval, 'n diabetiese koma of selfs tydens 'n verdrinking 'n persoon se lewe kan red. Maar dikwels het mense nie die kennis oor hoe om op te tree in so 'n noodsituasie nie. Jolien Reed en kamerman Given Masitoni het 'n opleidingssessie by survival CPR bygewoon.
I saw so many accidents and outcomes with patients that could have been so much better managed had the person on scene, whether it was a family member or member of the public, known what to do. So if you wait until your paramedics get to the scene and nobody has helped that person while you're waiting, that golden hour, that very important time, you're going to have a poor outcome with the patient. But as lay people, as a family member, if you can actually help immediately on scene, you're not only saving the person's life, you're saving their brain.
By die hospitaal sort hulle die hart uit, hulle sort die longe uit, hulle sort al die gebreekte gedeeltes uit wat hulle kan vervang. Maar die een ding wat ons nie kan vervang nie is die brein.
Survival CPR is sowat 18 jaar gelede gestig in 'n poging om lewens te red en ongelukke te voorkom. Catherine, what is CPR?
The CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Cardio being your heart, pulmonary being your lungs, resuscitation basically to come alive again. So CPR is about compressing on the chest. When you compress on the chest, you're pushing your sternum, the bone in the middle of the chest that the ribs attach to. You're compressing on that, which will in turn push down on muscle, etc., above the heart, will push on the heart, it will eject blood out of the heart, and then this will go to the lungs, and then pick up oxygen, go to the brain, and oxygenate the brain, just as it normally does. So basically, CPR is taking over the automatic function that the heart normally does. You are now performing a manual function. And just to explain how brilliant it is, if you actually feel for somebody's carotid pulse, when you're doing CPR, they actually get a pulse. And there's no pulse there naturally. It's an artificial pulse that you're creating by doing CPR. So your carotids are obviously taking blood to the brain all the time. I mean, if you feel your pulse now, you'll feel your carotids pumping. And that's what you're doing when you do CPR.
Cut your breastbone off.
In hulle program leer hulle mense basiese veiligheid in die huis en hoe om tydens 'n mediese krisis op te tree.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. As dit kom by die KPR gedeelte, sê ons altyd ons deel dit in 3 op. Jy kry 'n volwassene, jy kry 'n kind en jy kry 'n baba. So daar's 3 verskillende tegnieke. Ons noem hierdie kursus wat ons aanbied infant and child, maar ons begin altyd met die volwassene. Van die kans dat 'n volwassene gaan hulp nodig hê, is baie groter as 'n kind of 'n baba. So ons wys hulle die tegniek van 'n volwassene waar om hulle hande te sit, dis baie belangrik en dit verskil van die van 'n kind en dit van 'n baba. Dis hoekom al 3 belangrik is om te oefen.
Die huishulp meen daar is waardevolle lewenslesse wat hierdie opleiding aan hulle gee.
Today I'm so happy to learn about CPR because what happened, my husband died, he collapsed at work. Then they just phoned me to come in Pretoria University. When I got there, he was just covered with foil. So during those 2 years, I'll always live thinking that maybe they didn't do enough on him. But today I did understand, and now I'm strong enough, I can even go and tell my kids that they did this and that, but like nothing happened, nothing they were going to do.
I can help anywhere where my help is needed. Wherever, even at home, at church, at school, even in the mall, I can help.
Omdat kinders so weghalsig is daar soms benoude oomblikke.
As jy kyk na die persentasie van kinders wat in die hospitaal opeindig en jy gaan kyk na hoekom, dis maar minimaal van hulle is kankerverwant of hartverwant of longverwant, dis ongeluksverwant. So of die kind was toegesluit in die kar en hy het nou 'n hitteuitputting, of die kind het uit die boom uitgeval, die kind het deur die glasvenster geval, die kind het in die swembadwater opgeëindig of hy het in die warm badwater opgeëindig.
I didn't know what will help me to help the baby if the baby fall into the pool. Then I'm so happy today our instructor told us that you just take that scoop, the big scoop that you clean with the pool, and then you just like scoop the baby, come near to you, then you can pick up the baby and try to help the baby.
Drowning cannot be cured. There is no cure for a drowning situation. There is a fatal drowning and there is a non-fatal drowning. There is nothing in between. And there is that need for parents to be able to cope with a child when they don't have water safe skills. What happens there? And it's not only about a parent, it's about the helper, it's about the au pair, it's about whoever's looking after the child, or just in a general environment. It's one thing being able to take the child out, but then what?
Net hierna in deel 2 van regisseur Jolien Reed se spesiale verslag fokus sy op waterongelukke en wat gedoen moet word om lewens te red. Bly by ons. Welkom terug. Die vakansie is volstroom aan die gang en baie Suid-Afrikaners bestee 'n groot deel van hulle somer wegbreek in die buitelug. Dikwels geniet hulle die lafenis van water by riviere, damme of selfs die see. Maar 'n waterongeluk kan in 'n oogwink gebeur. Dit kan ook binnenshuis plaasvind, soos in skottelwater of in die bad. Ricky Kotsen van Infant Aquatics Academy meen dit is noodsaaklik dat kinders van 'n jong ouderdom leer swem om noodlottige ongelukke te voorkom. Hier is deel 2 van Jolien Reed se spesiale verslag.
Infant Aquatics was brought to South Africa a couple of years ago where we found the need for children to get water safe a lot faster than what the traditional methods were offering. It was taking an average child of 2 to 3, sometimes 4 years to get safe in the water. It's not conducive when you have children with backyard pools and constantly available, water available the way that we have it here in South Africa. The methodology behind it is to teach children to be able to get in, hold their breath, when they need to, turn over, all in their own control, no devices is doing it for them, armbands or anything like that. Wait for help, unassisted for as long as they need to. Age developmentally, once they can perform that life-saving skill, when they're at the walking stage, if they can walk, they can kick, they can fully swim. So we teach the swim, float, swim method throughout.
Kinders vanaf die ouderdom van 3 is geneig om te verdrink.
My school, we had a little girl, the older sibling was doing the lesson with me, and she silently crawled into the water, had not begun the program with me yet. By then, Mom had seen she was in trouble, and when I got her out the water, she'd already inhaled the water, she had already gotten unconscious, and I did CPR for almost 18 full minutes, and saved her life. And she had no brain damage, and she is well today because of it.
As jy in die swembad opgeëindig het en jy het hulp nodig, dat ons met KYKSTOF is dit baie belangrik dat jy koud gehou moet word, so koud as moontlik. So in plaas van om jou in die son te sit en te KYKSTOF in die son, gaan ek jou eerder in die koelte sit. Of ek gaan vir iemand vra om koelte te maak. So in plaas van om jou warm te maak met 'n kombers terwyl ek KYKSTOF, sal ek eerder daai kombers in die koue swembad gooi en jou toemaak met daai koue kombers terwyl ek KYKSTOF. En die rede daarvoor is, hoe kouer jy is, hoe minder suurstof het jy nodig. Hoe warmer jy is, hoe meer suurstof het jy nodig.
My sister had some friends over, they were fully swimming outside. My sister asked for a towel, I went to help her this side. I crawled out that side, the gate was open, went into the water without any reservation, did not care, just went right in. When my helper noticed I was missing, she found me, I was at the bottom of the pool already, I was blue, and somehow managed to get me out of the bottom of the pool in the weekend. When the paramedics arrived, I was resuscitated 3 times. Airlifted and thank you to Dr. Bartlett, I'm alive.
Maar verdrinkings is nie net geneig tot Suid-Afrika nie. In Bangladesh is verdrinking die grootste oorsaak van dood vir kinders tussen 1 en 17 jaar oud. Sowat 18,000 jong mense sterf jaarliks.
It was only a split second. I can't understand how it happened. I'd seen him near the pond. I called him, but he didn't answer. Durjoy's father came to my house, asking, "Where is Durjoy?" I said, "He's out with my son Nabir." Just then, my daughter said, "They found his shoe by the pond." My son's friend had fallen into the pond. It was very deep. Durjoy tried to save Nabir, but they were both trapped. Durjoy was face down in the water, so we rushed him to hospital. The doctor said they were both dead.
En in 'n poging om lewens te red, leer hulle kinders swem.
BAS is built on 9 years of previous research into developing effective interventions and cost-effective interventions. One of these interventions is the SwimSafe project, SwimSafe program. But it has been shown that it is effective in preventing 9 out of 10 deaths in children who have graduated from this, those deaths being due to drowning.
Often we find that there's a lot of inland drownings. How can one save a life when you are caught in a situation like that?
People in those areas get trained as an instructor. You don't have to be a medical professional to be an instructor. So you go and get properly trained, and then you go and teach. And one teaches this one, and we all teach each other.
My biggest mission at the moment is to be able to have medical professionals and the councils like Discovery, like any of the other people out there, the way that they pay for smoke stop programs, or the way they pay by the car, all those prevention programs, they pay for you to be healthy, they give you cash back. Where are they supporting parents to be able to do survival to prevent a child from dying?
শাসনায় জ্ঞান নাই তাকে আমরা চিপিয়ার বলি চিপিয়ার মানে মুখে শ্বাস বুকে যায় 5 বার মুখে শ্বাস 30 বার বুকে যায়
Bly ingeskakel net hier naby soek ons die Weskaap waar bekende danser dans gebruik as 'n leerproses vir kinders en jong mense. Moenie weggaan nie, kry jou dansskoene. Ons is nou terug. Waar vlieg die tyd? Kan jy glo die ou jaar is besig om ten einde te loop? En binne die komende week verwelkom ons die nuwe jaar 2020. Dis wanneer baie mense hulle dansskoene afstof en die nuwe jaar indans. Maar 'n bekende danser in Kaapstad, Ricardo Koopman, glo dat dans 'n handige en 'n waardevolle leerproses is om kinders en jong mense se drome te bewaarheid en lewenskwaliteit en bestendigheid te skep. Hy bied al dansklasse aan vir byna 3 dekades en leef steeds sy onblusbare passie vir dans uit. Regisseur Dani Juffers het 'n dansklas in Seepunt bygewoon.
I started dancing at a very, very young age. I think I was born with this from my mother's womb. There was just a lot of movement and it carried me through. As I said, dance actually saved my life. And I have to say that in the old South Africa during apartheid times, it was my only tool of survival. I never accepted no as an answer. I used to walk from Hout Bay to town for my training. Loved school, but was not dedicated enough to excel at the academics. But for me, dance was everything, so I pursue dancing. So I've been in the business for more than 35 years. I've gave birth to this name, dance progression, because of simply it's not just using the kids or the very talented kids. It's about the progress in each and every child, or even adult in this case, because as I said, when I started, my father was a fisherman. There was never bread on the table. It was very tough, but I never gave up. I was the only boy in a ballet, classical ballet class with many other dancers, and I was always being mocked, but I never gave up. So for me, progress is more important than how brilliant you are in the actual art form dance. And dance is such a powerful tool, and this is a gift that I actually received from God, and I use this openly and freely to welcome each and every child to the studio to come and learn if they really want to learn. I think this is a very important thing. The doors are open, so you walked in, but you have to know why you walked into that door. I can say that I've never really had boys in my class before because it was really frowned upon to have boys as dancers. But when I started, I started first working with the Department of Education, and this was at Seapon High School, and there were so many boys and young ladies interested in this art form. Then I moved to Allerton. I've been here probably for more than 12 years, and the talent is phenomenal, the interest is phenomenal, but it is quite a problem financially for them to actually get this professional training, because most of them maybe come from the township, so this is very difficult. The traveling fee, the entry fees are Statford. So we always like reaching out for those that actually are really keen, that there are the other people on the other side that know what I'm doing and what I stand for, and have that helping hand, which I'm also grateful many people come forth and say I would like to sponsor the entry fees maybe for 2 or 3 kids. So this is very important for me. However, I am an artist, I'm not a businessman. And sometimes people think you make a lot of money. I don't even have sometimes bread to put on the table, but I will never turn a kid away if it's their passion and if they want to learn.
Well, I was in my grade 2 class. We were learning, I think it was English, and then my dance teacher came up in the class and he said he needed 4 boys. So he picked me, my teacher picked me, and the other 3 boys. We went to his dance studio in Milnerton. And from there, my passion just grew.
In 2014, I was in grade 1. Many children used to bad name me, so I used to feel very bad about that. But since I came here in Allerton, I decided to join Ricardo's modern dance studio. I felt in love with it, so I decided to enter many competitions. I got gold merit. So in those competitions, I loved it a lot. So what I did, I decided to inspire and encourage many people to do very well in life and not give up.
I say yes to life and no to crime, and this is what I always encourage for them to actually when they walk in, they have to know there are a lot of kids that come maybe from disadvantaged backgrounds or where abused backgrounds or that, but I believe I don't give up on those kids because it makes such a difference. You can see just a minute the way they walk, the way they carry themselves when they're on the street, and how they can speak out about something that they love.
Dis al ons nuus vir 2019. Ons gesels weer volgende Sondag in die nuwe jaar. Onthou dat Fokus tydens die vakansietydperk nie op Vrydagoggend herhaal word nie, maar Fokus is steeds op YouTube beskikbaar. Soek onder Fokus SABC in die datum van die uitsending waarna jy wil kyk. So ons is Sondag 5 Januarie 2020 om 6 weer terug op ons pos en net hier op SABC 2. Ons lees graag jou kommentaar, jou tweets en jou voorstelle. Stuur dit aan fokus@sabc.co.za. Ons Fokusblad op Facebook, dis nog steeds daar by Fokus SABC en dan ook op Twitter by Fokus ZA. Ons wens al ons kykers 'n baie voorspoedige 2020 toe. Dankie vir al julle ondersteuning, julle terugvoer, al die liefde en welkomings. 'n jaar van seëning word vir jou toegewens. Tot volgende Sondag aan. Totsiens.